Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Landasha and I am so excited about this new series that we are going to begin on my YouTube channel. It's called Abundance and Harmony. And if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, you guys know that last month I did a 5-day live. We are in the midst of the COVID crisis here in America, and I did a 5-day live talking about basically how do you endure COVID. We talked about everything from self-care habits to financial habits, to good financial habits to practice in the midst of a recession. We also talked about how do you navigate relationships and some of the issues that can come up, because for us, we've been on quarantine. There are a few states in America that are opening up, and then there are, of course, some states that are staying closed. So how do you manage your relationships in the midst of all of that? Well, after I finished, I got some feedback from you guys, and many of you seemed to really enjoy the section that we did on financial management. And so I began to think about, okay, even though we're in the midst of really trying times right now, what is a series of messages that I could do maybe over the next month that kind of focused on taking our mindset out of some of the distressing moments and times that we're in and putting it into what I believe is, the goal of a lot of us, which is to live in a state of abundance and also harmony. And so we're going to talk about the 5 habits of financially successful people. And we also may deal with love a little bit towards the end of the series. But most of this series will be about money. It'll be about wealth. And we will also throw in some relevant factors about your health, because I think they go hand in hand whenever it comes to financial management. And so with the 5 habits of financially successful people, I personally consider myself to be financially successful. I think that at the end of the day, there are these characteristics of people who basically don't worry about what's going on with money. If I had to sit down and say, like, what is the major characteristic of someone who would say that they're financially successful, I would say it's a person who lives their day-to-day life and they're not concerned about what's going on with their money or their bank accounts or their bills or anything like that. I don't necessarily think that financial success is about how much money you have or how much you specifically earn. It's more so how you manage the money that you have at any given time. And so I definitely think that while others may define financial success by a number, or some people are looking to become a millionaire, some people are looking to get out of debt, there are these different markers about what you may want to do on your financial journey. But I believe you've reached a stage of financial success when money is no longer a major issue in your day-to-day life. So with that being said, after I've given you guys my definition of what it means to be financially successful, I am going to go into each of these habits. And one of the things that I want you to keep in mind before we get into what these 5 habits are is I want you to listen to everything from the perspective of, take what you can, leave what you can't. Okay, I recognize that money is a very sensitive issue in most people's lives. It's not like we run around and want to be, yelling out to the world, this is what's going on behind closed doors with my financial life. But I also believe that there are a lot of people out here who would love to take their unique experience with money to the next level. And I have been on my own financial journey consciously, right? I've been very mindful and conscious of moving to the next levels in my life financially for a number of years. I did not start where I am today, and I had to invest a lot of time, effort, energy, and also money in learning about money, learning how do people who are much better at managing money how do they think about money? And I want to encourage you to sit down and really take an assessment of that, because while money is, something that we all have to interact with every day, it should not be, one of those things that you're always shying away from or always avoiding, because we know that once we get into that stage, ain't no turning around, right? Ain't no turning around. So let's go ahead and get into these habits. The first habit of financially successful people is, number one, I believe that they practice gratitude. Whenever you are starting out on your financial journey, or if you are in a season where you're trying to recommit to your financial journey, one of the most immediate wins that I have seen and I have witnessed other people who manage money very well do is they begin by stopping and being grateful for where they are now. And I don't know when you're watching this video, I don't know what's going on in your life. You could have just had a very, very catastrophic event that happened in your life, and it's ruining you financially. And it could be that you're saying, Lindasha, what do you mean? Be grateful for what, right? Like the bills are piling up, or the bankruptcy notice is here, or whatever. You can go so far out into left field when it comes to money. But what I am saying is, if you're going to get back on track, okay, if you're going to pull yourself up out of any financial pit that you may have found yourself in, one of the first things to do is to begin a practice of gratitude. And for me, my practice of gratitude looks like maybe opening one of my bank accounts and saying, you know what, thank you for whatever amount is in this bank account. Thank you that if I wanted to go up and buy a bottle of water, I could. I have enough money in my bank account to go do that. And let's say legitimately you're in a place and you're like, girl, I don't even have 99 cents or $1.99, because water individually can get expensive depending on where you buy it from. Let's say you don't even have that in your account. The idea of naming this series Abundance and Harmony is that now take yourself to something else. Let's say money is not in abundance. Let's say you can't even remotely think of something to be grateful for with your money. Practicing gratitude moves you into this space where you're like, okay, I may not can be grateful for money, but I have oxygen in abundance, right? If you're watching this video, unfortunately, unless you're in a hospital or something like that on COVID, and you wouldn't even be watching this. But if you're sitting here right now, you have an abundance of oxygen flowing around you. And entering into that first stage, before you can ever earn money, you have to breathe. And so being able to say, you know what, I'm very grateful right now for I have more than enough oxygen that I need to breathe. And that means that I'm alive. And so if I'm alive, then I can actually take whatever it is that I need to do in my financial life, and I have an opportunity to make it better. And so fighting for that stage of gratitude, what it does is it puts your mind into a state where you can actually think creatively. You can pull a new energy into your immediate presence, whereby you can open up ideas. And another thing is that your financial journey will take time. So beginning to practice gratitude when you don't have anything. Like for me, I was probably about 18 when I for real and seriously started my financial journey. I didn't have the access to resources that I have right now. I hadn't built out a career. I had not worked many jobs at the time. By the time I was 18, I was pretty much broke, but practicing gratitude allowed me to continuously set my mind on where I knew I wanted to grow. And even now, even though I've got, really traveled very far as it relates to this financial area, I still have things that I want to manifest in my future. If you follow me on Instagram at Lindasha, I recently put up a post that was like, hey, this is what I'm trying to manifest into. This is my next level. And so part of me doing these videos is about giving that information to you guys as well. Number 2, the second habit of financially successful people is that they are skilled at what they do to earn money. Okay, so let's get into the meat of certain things. They are skilled at what they do to earn money. Now, notice I did not say that they are popular. And I feel like I have to address this in this social media frenzy world that we're in. There are a lot of popular people out there. Like, there are a lot of people whose likes and whose comments and whose all of these different measures of engagement are super high, right? And there are so many of them that have not figured out the business side of their brand. They figured out the marketing or the popularity side, but they have not figured out the business side. And so their numbers financially, they typically are finding themselves in a lot of debt and sometimes not able to create deals that bring in enough money to offset whatever their actual bills are in life. And unfortunately, we live in this cancel culture, and we live in a culture where people love exposing folks. So I've seen some of the most embarrassing, things happen to really well, popular or well notable people. And it's like you come out with all of this Ruth Chris steak and all of that, and people, the next thing you know, the people who are quote unquote on your team are saying, he got kicked out of his luxury apartment last week, or this happened, their car got repossessed. And so the thing for me is, like, it's very hard to really keep building without integrity, right? If you need to deal with your money, then deal with your money, And so the second thing is, they're skilled at what they do, and skill about whatever it is that you do to earn money. It's not skilled at being popular. It's skilled at being able to say, hey, I offer A, B, and C at this rate. Am I interacting with someone on the other side of the table who's willing to exchange their money for this value, right? And that's the heart of the deal. You need to be able to come to the table and know that you can deliver on what it is that you're promising. And they need to be able to come to the table and know that they can deliver on the check. And you need both of those for solid business transactions. So focus on what you're skilled at to earn money. For me, at this stage of my life, money comes into my life from different places and in different ways. And so one of the skill sets that my household had to learn, or one of the places that we earn money, is through real estate. And so we had to learn how to purchase a home, location of a home. We wanted our home to have a certain amount of equity over time. So that meant you couldn't buy everywhere. You had to have a certain strategy when it came to what your goals were. If you wanted the equity out of the home, if you wanted to rent the home, and all of these other factors that come, who would you want to rent it to? And then outside of real estate, then your careers. So does your career take X amount of years? Do you have to get a degree? Do you have to get some other training? When you become skilled at something, a lot of people may be like, well, Lindasha, I'm not skilled at, a lot of stuff, or I don't know what I'm skilled at, or I know I want to do X, but right now I'm not that good at it. Well, that means you need to go through more training, right? On the other side of being skilled is, one, being trained, and then two, practicing whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, getting more experience in that. And I would say experience that, in as much as possible, is paid experience, so that you don't get comfortable with giving your work out without looking for a certain return. Number 3, people who, the third habit of financially successful people is that they make deals. Okay, they make deals. When I say that, I mean, I came from a background whereby there was just a lot of charity going on. And I am a very, very much so a giving person, okay? I have parameters around giving. I have parameters around how I give, especially now that I'm a business owner. Certain things have to be in place on the other side for me to give in the ways that I want to. But people who are financially successful make deals. And when I say they make deals because they have to earn. So everything that you do, you should look at it potentially as though like, what am I'm doing A in exchange for what B. And of course, when I'm saying this, I'm speaking uniquely about business and work. So it's not necessarily how you would interact with your family, okay? Because we have a lot of people who are just out here transacting in every area of life. Some areas of life, in my opinion, should be based off of other principles like love. But when it comes to business, the main principle is we're trying to make a deal. And if we can't make a deal, and in my case, a profitable deal, then we both just continue on our way. But at the heart of a deal, you're saying, I will trade X for Y. Now, when you get into deal making, do your market research. Make sure you're not out here just with arbitrary numbers that you have not sat down to calculate. You don't know your costs. You don't know which profit margins you're going after. And I mean this, even if you are an employee, let's say you're not a business owner, you're an employee, you're trying to decide which job I'm going to take, and maybe the job is hourly rate or it's a salary. You need to run the numbers for your household and understand that in any business or in any work that you're doing in exchange for money, that these numbers need to be founded on something. And if it's not enough after you calculate your taxes, your bills, and however, you want to live your life and what lifestyle you want to have, if the numbers don't make sense, then this may not be the place that you need to work. So the third thing is that financially successful people make deals, and they make profitable deals, I would say. Fourth habit is financially successful people know what they want out of every deal that they enter into. This point goes towards goal setting, okay? A financially successful person enters into an experience knowing what they're looking for. Now, that doesn't mean that they're out saying it at the first meeting, right? If we're on a discovery call or we're having lunch or dinner after we've had a few calls at this point and we're trying to get to know each other to see if we're a good fit for business. This isn't to say that you reveal those goals at the first stage or at the first step. No, but it is to say that both of you guys ought to be, both you and your employer or your business partners or, a vendor, whoever you're working with in this deal, ought to be assessing each other based upon what you know you need. And if you as an individual have not sat down to say, this is what I want out of my life financially, you're just gonna be out here doing whatever, right? And, I'm not knocking people who kind of have that more free-spirited attitude about an approach about life. But what I'm saying is, you can free spirit all you want, but when you wake up and it's like, I can't pay my bills, then your free spirit is going to be dealing with the struggle and stress of rubbing up against your money and saying your money is not long enough for this level of free spiritedness. And so to me, this is all about approaching life from a very practical and realistic perspective. You can be as free spirit as you want, but if your money don't allow for X, then there's this part of you that may need a sense of structure around your life to get to where you want to be. And the final habit of financially successful people is, I'd say, they connect with other financially successful people. And this could be in the form of who you follow on social media. It could be in the form of what types of books you read. It could be in the form of what videos you watch on YouTube. But even more so than that, connecting with physical individuals who have navigated their money, their finances, their assets, and all the other decisions that they have to make to a place where it's like, wow, like you're really doing a great job. And, I want to caution you, because every person who has a lot of stuff doesn't necessarily I wouldn't necessarily call them financially successful. So remember, financially successful people, from the definition that I gave you at first, are people who are not running around, thinking about money as a source of problems every day. They're not people who are hunting 24/7. I gotta get it. financially successful people are able to live, manage their money, make very profitable and wise decisions with their money, but it doesn't run them. Their day-to-day life is not consumed by it. And so when you connect with other people who are financially successful, who have a sense of peace and a sense of security around money, who can speak about the issues and the problems that may arise in money, who understand what money management and successful money management look like, those are the people that you want to connect with. Those people who have an energy that fits this whole abundance and harmonious mindset, because at the end of the day, those people are going to, one, be around for the long term generally. They're not going to be in and out. You're not going to see their emotional state sway a whole lot on social when it comes to what's going on with their businesses. They've developed a certain steadiness whereby the ups and downs of the market or whatever's going on in their businesses doesn't move their personhood, because they've managed their money well. And so, if you guys have enjoyed this particular lesson, y'all like it, please let me know at the bottom, because I would love to continue to make videos for you guys according to what you're interested in. I need to know that. You can either put it in the comment section. That is the quickest way. Also, if you know me and if you follow me for a while on the channel, I'm all about making sure that you continue in a growth mindset. That's very important to me. And so I created a course a few years ago called the Matchless Digital Course. I'm linking it below. In that course, we talk about just in general, what habits and practices do people who are living out the best version of themselves, how do they get there and what do they do? And so I created that course to help guide people who are on that journey as well. The link, it will be below in the description. And I want you guys to like and subscribe, and please share the video. If you thought anything was helpful, let me know which tips were most helpful for you, and I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.